What is good, ladies and gentlemen, pillage and crusaders? Welcome to another feature match featuring Sneks and Infernoble. This was taken from my locals this recent Friday night, where I also ended up winning the whole thing. Not to kind of spoil or anything like that, but I ended up winning the whole thing. Infernobles kind of got their revenge, considering the episode 2 of the local crusade, I went and just got thrapped by, like, everybody, you know? So Snake Rain over here winning the dice roll. My man Sebastian just being able to combo off without any sort of disruption from me. My hand was god-awful. It was 2 Dark Rulers, Harpies, Feather Dusters, Living Fossil, and 1 Gimba. And I believe I draw a Renaud for turn, which you guys are going to see this happen twice at the entire tourney. Why you should play Renaud over Arborea and Armageddonite is because if you draw into any of those scenarios, whether you have Renaud as your only extender, you cannot play, but Hard Opening Gimba allows me to do that. But the Snake player is going to give me a whole bunch of tokens, summoning this big, giant Synchro Ultimate. I don't even know what half these cards do, and I couldn't tell you guys right off the top of my head. However, it is going to be rough. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be pretty rough. We're going to see Reptile turn one of the tokens into a reptile, I believe, and then we're just going to see the reptile link. I'm just kind of sitting here just looking through my extra deck, and can't really do much, kind of hoping that fought all this way, probably going to get doubled out here. But remember, guys, if you guys want to help support the channel and support these feature matches, support the live streams, all that fine stuff, go down in the description down below and join the Discord today. It's open to the public. You no longer have to be a member to be a part of it. It was decided by me and the members of our roundtable that it should be open for everyone. So go ahead, come down and join. But if you guys also want to help support the channel, please think about hitting another link down there, the TCG Player affiliate link. Every time you guys purchase anything using that link, we get a small kickback from your purchase. That makes it that you guys get no extra cost from it. It helps support the channel. Everything you guys put towards the channel goes right back into it. So there's that. And also, if you guys want to get that beautiful Stigmatica playmat, which I believe they're now called branded, but the Stigmatica playmat, the black playmat on the right, you can get that at the Team COG store down below as well, along with other TCG mats and other things like that. But we're going to see this giant snake come out, and it's going to draw him 5 cards, guys. That is crazy. And man, if I ever had an Ash Blossom, I wish I had it now. Sadly, though, he's just going to just keep doing the crazy snake stuff that I have no clue what is doing. I know that I should be fearful of King, Queen, and Deity. Those cards are actually very powerful, and if you try to play into a board of them, you're really not gonna, you're gonna struggle. And this is Light, I believe. Light lets him Monster Reborn, if I remember so correctly. I'm not too, like I said, I'm not too familiar with the entire concept of the snakes. However, I do like the giant deity here. But he's going to grab a trap. He's going to set the trap, and he's going to fire off Snake Lily, which I think is called Ogadatic, or I can't even pronounce the name, dumping the deity himself. The deity goes all the way to the graveyard, and then he's just going to Monster Reborn back the deity. So it's pretty rough here. And I believe he's locked into reptiles, but we're going to see a tribute of 2 for King, I believe, and a tribute for 2 for Queen. So, to be honest with you, I'm not too familiar, and it's really hard for me to tell the difference between the King and the Queen, but I know that the Deity is a quick effect to send, but we're going to smack down Dark Ruler, and because I am very good at the game, I'm going to follow up here with the possibility, well, you guys will see what I'll follow up with. He's reading to see if anything. Sadly, nothing can respond to Dark Ruler. I don't know if his trap would have been able to or not, but I'm good at the game, so I flip that Harpies Feather Duster. Now, don't know what's in his hand, so my hand is very fragile to like 1 hand trapped, and he did draw 5 cards, but there you guys go, right there. Gimba and Renaud. If I drew any other warrior like Armageddonite and or Arborea, I would not have combo right now. So, go us. So we're going to go ahead and go into Dark Ruler no more. My man Sebastian reading Dark Ruler. Must be his first time getting truly hit by it, or getting hit by it where it was actually something as detrimental as this. I cannot do damage, so my entire concept, this deck is very difficult to play against. This is my second time playing against it. Because the deck uses its graveyard as a second hand, you gotta be very careful with what you do. And then this build, I'm not playing Dweller or anything like that. But as you guys can see here, out of fear of a hand trap, I'm actually able to summon Dolphin off of the Isolde to take a look at the hand. And then I have the extender to bring back the Gimba to be able to make Halifibrex and go into the Rorodon combo this way. But back to trying to stop this deck is if I can clear out his entire monsters are super beefed up too, like they're huge. So my thought process is if I can clear the monsters and then get out at a negate to hopefully stop the deity for coming out, I should be okay. But in my, I like Snake Rain's a powerful card. It's just, there's so much in this deck that's super strong. And since I sadly was not playing Dweller, which has changed now, I'll hopefully have a new list. I'm testing a few new cards in the list that I'll be bringing you guys here, hopefully within the next week or so, depending on how the mail goes. I was at the limb of the graveyard, his second hand. So the best I could do here, and depending since I opened such doggy doo-doo, was that I'm gonna have to do the best I can, which is just gonna probably be Charles and some form of Omni negate. And I don't want to put up the Herald, because Herald is such a weak monster that all it takes is someone to want to attack into the Herald, and then there goes my Omni negate, and then out comes the deity blows everything up. So I had to make my card that I'm summoning be like Savage, because Savage is big enough to hold his own against the snake deities, these apocalypse of snakes. I'm so sick of these snakes on this locals. 10 points if you guys catch that reference where I kind of changed it. But other than that, guys, it was a pretty good locals. This guy actually won last week with snakes. It was like, this deck is, once you kind of understand the concept of this deck, it's still pretty difficult to stop. And I know you guys are probably thinking it's once you understand the concept, it's easy. But that is not the case, because the deck is very similar to Orcus. That's probably why Orcus has been splashed with this deck, is that it practically plays like a second hand, and that's very difficult for you to be able to stop not only their hand, but also their second hand. And that is just very difficult in its own sense. I think I can clear everything here but Queen, I believe. But I'm going to go ahead and use Charles, Savage, who is definitely bigger than the deity, to clap over the snake. And then I'm going to use Charles to attack over, I believe, King, or I believe I go for Queen. I cannot remember which one. I go for one of them, clap over it, and then I use the Auroradon to clap over the small little guy out there on left field, kind of avoiding the fight, but I see him over there, cannot let him stay, and then I just pass it over to him after that. There's not much I can do. Of course, I do the typical equipped Oliver in phase roll-in effect to send the metal, to send Durandal, to add a Renaud, I believe. Yep, there's Renaud. And then, of course, in phase Charles to equip Metal Silver, and then I will equip the Ogier here. But as you guys notice, the Mecha Phantom Beast is sitting out there right now, the Coldwing, and if I was playing the list that I'm playing now, I would have the ability to move it over and make a Dweller. Depending on what I would open, I'd have that opportunity or that ability to do so. But in this list, I do not. So the Coldwing just has to hang there. And I think my man Sebastian here drew Ash Blossom for turn. Not the best draw he could have had. It's those feet. The feet Ash Blossom float to the hand when you don't need them. But right now, all I know is that my Savage Negate needs to be ready for the deity. Like, all the other cards can do some crazy stuff. But as long as Savage can stop that deity from coming out, I should be good. We're going to see a Snake Rain here fire off, and that is just crazy. So Snake Rain, Foolish 5 must be nice, and I'm not even going to negate it because he's going to fire off the Lily here. The Lily is very interesting. I have to read Lily because Lily is a very busted card in its own sense. Non-targeting, just Foolish Burial, Monster Reborn, all in one card. So right now I know that is a snake deity coming out if he happens to have a reptile in deck to send. But his deck is getting kind of short here. He might not have a reptile to send, but we will see here momentarily. I'm just looking because I'm like, man, I have to read the deity multiple times. So now the game plan has kind of changed as long as he has a deity to send, and he does not. He looks through his deck. He has no reptiles left, so I get to dodge it this way. I get to dodge the deity this way. However, the game plan was wait for the deity to activate its effect, then negate it with Savage, which was what the game plan was, but conveniently, since he does have no more reptiles in the graveyard, that is not a problem. We're going to see this guy special summon itself, adding him a snake spell or trap, I believe. That's what that one does, or that one just summons itself. I have to read these cards multiple times because I'm like, what is he doing? What's the game plan? So right here, I believe he's going to attempt to use Light in the graveyard, and that is going to tribute to summon I believe that's what he's going to try and do. But I mean, look at his graveyard, guys. Like, this is just how crazy. His graveyard is completely stacked. Like, I mean, yeah, he's kind of caught in a rock in a tough spot, you know, like most snakes are. But, like, he has practically this entire graveyard at his disposal that he can just kind of abuse. But we're going to see a tribute 1 for Light. And we, Light here, he gets to target a card in his graveyard, and I get to target a card in mine and special summon it. But see, there is something we miss here at the very beginning that we catch halfway through. I just summon out Dolphin, he summons out something, but see, what happens here is it says target, so since the Light says you can target a card and then I can target, he cannot target due to Metal Silver Armor because the card says that he targets one card in his graveyard, and Metal Silver says that you have to target Charles, and you can't target Charles because of Oliver. So we can't do that, sadly, which is good for me, for sure. That's just why Metal Silver Armor is such an underrated card. It's definitely like definitely a brick. You could definitely probably play like Autonomous Action Unit, another Burial-like card, an equip spell and stuff like that. But like Metal Silver Armor, it just solidifies like weaker boards and sometimes makes your stronger boards just almost unbreakable because most things target, you know. But he's going to go into this giant Tachyon Dragon, which is going to shut off everything during the battle phase, so I cannot have that at all. Knowing that I cannot respond, I believe, I just go ahead and fire off Roland Charles effect to pop it. And then the poor snake guy has to pass the Slytherin snakes, so we wrap it up and go up over here into Game 2. So Game 2 here, he is going to go first. However, this game was a very laughable, very fun game to play. Simply because it amazes me how consistent both these decks can be, and the fact that both of us hard bricked really bad. So he, as you can see his hand, he opened like 0 monsters. He only opened 1 Foolish Burial spell. I do not have, so I do have Ash in my hand, but I want to hold it for the Snake Rain. But see, this is where one of those instances where he dumps the deity and this is all he's going to be able to do because he's just going to Monster Reborn back the deity. So like, he didn't have Snake Rain, he didn't have anything. I should have activated the Ash on this and he would have had nothing, but you know, hindsight 2020. If I Ashed Lily, he had Snake Rain, I just lost. So I'm going to attempt to activate Heritage of the Chalice. Again, this is what I need, but it is met with a swift Ash Blossom. So again, I'm just forced to pass. He just, as you can see, he's laughing because he drew Dog Doo-Doo here. Which is unfortunate, but I mean, it is what it is. We're going to see, I think that, I can't see which one that is. Is that another light in his hand, or is that a dark? No, that is a hieratic normal summon Tifnit or something like that. But he's going to swing in for 41, I believe, 41 damage, which is, you know, I can't take another one of those. So I draw for turn. I have to practically, I forget what I drew, but we're going to fire off Reinforcements of the Army, and that goes through, and we are off to the races now. I gotta play through a Send, sadly, because, you know, the deity is a non-targeting Send, so I'm gonna normal summon. I'm gonna use the effect of the Connector to give me Dolphin, but before I can activate Dolphin's effect, he's going to send everything, which is, it is what it is, but I did open 2 Heritage of the Chalice at the beginning of the game to grab Oliver. And I think I have Oliver and Renaud in hand. I think that's what I have. So knowing that, I just gotta hope he does not have an Ash Blossom in his hand. Otherwise, I'm just gonna kind of cry. But we're gonna see a special Renaud. Grab me back, make Isolde's effect to add. So you always do this just because you want to bait the ability for them to fire Ash Blossom. So I believe I'm trying to go for... Oh, I don't even use the effect to add. Oh, yes, I do. I just miss up. I think I'm adding Phoenix. There we go. I add Phoenix Blade because Immortal Gear freed Phoenix. Yeah, so there we go. Just a little mix-up. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Isolde's effect, paying the cost. Hopefully, I don't eat an Ash Blossom. I'm trying to see... And see, I think I mess up here. I should have sent 4, but I sent 2 for Gimba. And the only reason you ever summon Gimba from the deck is just so that you can... So... If you open multiple equip spells, you have the ability to, but like my hand had like no equip spells, so this is a total like I kind of maybe I butcher this combo in a way. I'm not too sure. I think I do because I'm no longer playing Gamma, and I don't have a level 2 to send with the Riser, which is upsetting. Which you'll see the conflicts here. For some reason, I thought since I had already had Oliver in graveyard, I should have, like, I didn't need to summon it, but I did. And this is where I'm kind of checking my graveyard, realizing my mistake. But that is not too bad in a sense, because I can do still something. I believe I have another extender in my hand that I can use. But it's just, see, as you can see, I'm doing math in my hand, doing math on my hands, because I'm like, oh my god, I sent my target for Riser, and I didn't even have to. But we're gonna summon Riser. Riser effect to send. I forget what I send here. Red layers. There we go. So red layer. I go ahead and activate the. Okay, so yeah, so I drew Living Fossil. So I send red layer. It becomes a level 2. Living Fossil back the Dolphin. So Synchro for 5. Hard make Charles. So even there, it was, you know, I hard opened the Living Fossil, which is not too bad. But we're gonna do Balmug to bring back out the Despot. Despot, where, you know, as you guys can see, the same cookie cutter combo. Well, when you say cookie cutter, this is pretty, like, I mean, like, this is not your easiest combo lines and easiest combo strings to learn. But my hand after this is just kind of I do believe I should have gone for a Savage here. But, oh, I do go for Savage. So, yeah, I end up making Savage and Herald. So, this is practically going to seal the deal, because that Savage is going to be able to attack over the King, or the Deity, excuse me, and then Herald is going to stop any potential future Snake Rain or anything like that firing off. So, we smack over the Deity, and then we do damage. Charles attacks, and then I believe the Auroron attacks, and the poor guy is forced to wrap it up here. Shortly after this, I don't know what he draws, but my entire goal with the Herald was to stop, like, the Lily, stop the Snake Rain from happening. So in phase, we're just going to get a fully buffed up Charles here, which is going to protect everything from targeting, which, I mean, like, again, the Deity doesn't target, but, like, it seems like a little bit of the other littler guys do target, so we'll be pretty well safe. And there we go. He draws for turn. And it seems like that's it. So we wrap it up, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Charles from Team COG, signing out.